could this mean? I don't know. Guess this means nothing. Yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna be perfectly fine. I died. Yeah, I think I'm ready to go now. Bye. Hello, YouTube. Where am I? Beats me. Where did you even get that? Okay, well, seeing as I'm here, let's talk about Arrow. Because I guess that's the only thing I could do in this white room. So, yeah. Season 4 of Arrow. I've already warned you about spoilers, so if you're staying and you haven't seen it yet, then that's your problem. I don't know why you're staying. But for the rest of you who have actually seen it, then this season was disappointing. Really disappointing. To me, personally, I honestly think that they could have just ended it at season 3. But no, they had to keep it going another season, and wow. Just wow. Okay, so, for one, what's going on this season? Well, following the events of the last season, Oliver and Felicity have now moved somewhere and are pretty much just living a normal life. So yeah, very exciting. And as literally anybody could guess, something bad's going on in Star City, so now Oliver and Felicity both have to go back. And what is that bad thing? Well, it's Damien Dark. Who is he? Well, in the comics, he made a few appearances in Teen Titans, and that was it. Really awesome. So, yeah, they pretty much were able to work a lot on this character, seeing as, well, in Teen Titans, what was his important role? He was kind of a smart guy who came in and did stuff and then left. So yeah, they have a lot that they can build on this character, and they definitely do. And I will talk about him later, but were they going for Taskmaster with this character? He really felt like Taskmaster to me. But I'll explain that later. Okay, so apparently Damien Dark is the guy who worked with the League of Assassins at one point. He was with Ra's al Ghul and everything. They were both friends and stuff. They explained this last season, and pretty much he didn't get chosen for the new Ra's, so what he decided to do was he would go out and get revenge by not even getting any revenge on the League of Assassins. Makes sense. So pretty much his big plan was to go out and learn magic. Because I guess that's what a lot of ex-League of Assassins members do. Except for Sarah Lance. So now he's going off and now he's learned magic. He has a wife and kid even. And he decides, well, my life is pretty content. I got a lot of money. I got magic. I got a family. I want more. So he pretty much decides that he's gonna step an army. A hive even. Because he was always the leader of Hive. Okay. Yeah. If you guys can't tell, I am kind of a fan of comics, and yeah, Hive was always led by Damien Dark, a guy who hardly appeared in the comics. Really? Really? You need to go there. Like, you couldn't actually save Hive or actually use Hive? No, you just had to say, nope, Damien Dark's the leader of Hive, because why wouldn't he be? So, yeah, he's apparently the leader of Hive. And pretty much, now what is he going to do? He's gonna send out his ghosts, which are apparently people who are really strong and who work with them. So, yeah, now Oliver's gotta deal with magic. Why? Just why? To me, this is the biggest issue of the season, is that they inserted magic and metahumans. And we don't really have any normal people that it goes up against. Granted, we do get Hush. Or at least, was he this season or season 3? I can't really remember, but yeah, we did get Hush. I, again, can't really remember if he came out this season or not. And we do still have Cupid, and we did get Anarchy this season, but outside of that, we got nothing else. It's just magic or metahumans, and to me, this is the biggest issue. Like, okay, yes, the Green Arrow does have some metahuman villains, but does that mean that has to be every single villain that he comes across? No, it doesn't. You can still have it grounded in reality like it originally was. Even in season 2, it made sense as to how Slade was able to do all this stuff because it was a drug. So yeah, they still kept it grounded in reality. But right after season 3, they throw all that out the door. Why? Because the Flash came around? I really don't get this. This really annoyed me this season, and it was the biggest issue for me. Mainly because the first 2 seasons, which were really well done, both stayed grounded in reality. Most of the villains, even some that did have powers in the comics, like Vertigo, they were normal. And they had explanations as to how their powers would work, or how they would be tied into their names and everything. So yeah, there was stuff like that that made sense. Heck, even the Flash has had some normal villains, like, oh yeah, Trickster. What about him? Did he not exist? Can there not be any more humans for them to come across? No, I guess not, because the Flash came around, and people seem to like that. But here's the thing, it's on its own show. If you mix the elements of the Flash into Arrow, then it just doesn't work. Arrow was supposed to be more grounded in reality, and would be a little bit darker. The Flash is more lighthearted and more engulfed in fantasy. You would think that this would be very obvious given the fact that there are metahumans. But no, apparently the shows have now forgotten about that and decided to just make the Flash the main show that is Arrow. So mixing the two together, it doesn't work. It doesn't have as interesting as an idea as it did in the other 2 seasons, which were the very first. Season 3, that's where it started to get more engulfed in the fantasy elements and more superhero stuff. Well, originally it was just a hero show. But now it's just superheroes because we can now put in metahumans. And yeah, this to me is the biggest issue of this season. And yeah, there's way too much magic in it, so yeah, I just have a real big problem with that, seeing as that's the main focus of the season. And while there are some areas where I was happy that they did this, like introducing Vixen and also putting John Constantine back, which I still haven't seen his show. Seriously, Netflix, put it on Netflix. I really want to see that show. But yeah, outside of that, to me there was just no real need. So yeah, Oliver Queen now decides the only way to fight magic is by getting a different name and suit. So he now suits up in a less armored uniform and calls himself the Green Arrow. I will admit that's probably one of the best things out this season. And also now Felicity as their as Oliver and the whole entire Team Arrow have now been fighting um, Damien Dark for a while. Now what happens to Felicity? Well, of course she's going to get tied into the mess and she gets paralyzed from the waist down. Intrigue, as you can tell. So yeah, she gets paralyzed from the waist down. So now they also gave her the name Overwatch. And now she's officially that character, so they're of course gonna make her walk again. Heck was the point of that? So yeah, she loses her legs just to get them back. Makes sense. So we also get John Diggle's brother coming back because after he was killed by Hive, of course he won't want to go work for them. And yeah, he's apparently one of the ghosts. And his whole entire story arc pretty much ends with Diggle shooting him. I gotta say though, that was actually a pretty big surprise to me, and I do like the way that was done. So, and I do also like how it did affect Diggle. And I also just really love his wife's reaction to it, just like, oh, you killed him? Yeah, okay. Made sense. You had a reason. He was kind of threatening to kill all of us, so yeah, makes sense. But of course, John won't take that because that would just make too much sense. So yeah, he's pretty upset about this, and at the end of the season, he leaves. Told you there were gonna be spoilers. So yeah, that's pretty much his main story arc. He also has a little bit of bareness towards Oliver, and which makes sense because, well, he did kidnap his wife when he was trying to trick Roz, but yeah, I think that would be something that would make sense to at least John, who was in the military. You would understand that. You would think that he would at least understand that that was a strategy that he was using, but nope. He, of course, took this very personally for no reason at all. So, yeah, that bitterness remains. Because I guess that was really important. So, there's also a story arc with Thea. What's her story arc? She's dating a guy. Again. But she also is going through that whole entire killing bloodlust thing from the Lazarus Pit. Oh yeah, and there's also a Lazarus Pit now. We totally need magic at every aspect in the show or else it will all just fall apart. So yeah, they brought in the Lazarus Pit in season 3, and while in season 3 I did like its addition, here it just sort of seems like a way to bring back some of the characters. Like Sarah Lance. She's brought back. I can at least understand why they would bring her back, like stuff with Legends of Tomorrow and everything, but really, Laurel? You just couldn't leave something well enough alone? You just had to bring her back? Okay, whatever. It's your life, I guess. Oh, and also Laurel is trying to keep everything about her sister hidden. Because her sister has that same bloodlust. I wonder where the story arc is going. What? It ends with her having to tell everyone else about this? Shocker. But, okay, I will talk about my hatred for Laurel Lance later. You might want to turn down your microphone at that point. So, yeah, pretty much. that's about it. There is a little bit more, like Oliver's running for mayor, but that's kind of dropped halfway through the season, and to me, it never really seemed to have a point. But I guess it was kind of important at some times, but not really when you get down to it. Like, one point that it served was getting Thea in a relationship with the guy. The guy died near the end of the season. Totally necessary, I know. So, yeah, that was a real necessary subplot. And also, it did have some impact on Damien Dirk's wife and everything with that. So, yeah, I guess that was okay, giving her a bit more development, but I still really don't feel like it was that necessary. Also, Oliver has a son, William. Why is that such a commonly chosen name for sons on TV shows now? Really? First X-Files, now Arrow? I really am not understanding the point of this. So, yeah, eventually we find out Damien Dirk's true evil plan. He's gonna launch missiles at everything, but he has a bunker underground for everyone who supports him and is on his side. And Thea Queen, because, yeah, I guess she was real important. So, yeah, he just decides he's gonna destroy the whole world. Wow. You do realize that if any of those missiles that you're launching were actually able to slightly even crack your dome, then you could die really painfully? Are you forgetting that? But I guess, yeah, okay, you will get revenge on the League of Assassins, so yeah, I guess that's something. But yeah, that's his completely horrible plan. So what are Oliver and the rest of the team gonna do? Just go into the dome and defeat him and kill his wife, and then they gotta stop the missiles some more. Luckily, Felicity now has her friend Curtis, who will also be Mr. Terrific. That's something. And she also has her dad to help them out in stopping these missiles. And yeah, they stopped the missiles. Woo! And then they killed Damien Dirk after Oliver Queen gives a good speech, and now he's apparently going to be running for mayor again. Woo! And then everyone pretty much just leaves. Except for Felicity and Oliver, because they were the only ones left last time, I guess. They were the ones who left last time, and now it's the other way around, I guess. So yay, I guess, for irony, and that's pretty much it. Like I said before, this is probably the worst season of Arrow. Yeah, this season was pretty bad to me. Like, most of the things going on in it, I just really didn't care. The stuff with Thea and the Lazarus pin, the bloodlust, I was just like, yeah, okay, wrap this story up, please. Really? You're just gonna keep on doing it? And doing it, and focusing on it, and focusing on it. God, please end this. And yeah, that was pretty much my whole entire reaction to that. At first it was kind of interesting, but then they just kept on dragging it out, and it just really didn't feel like they needed to. One odd thing about this season, though, is that while most of the other seasons will at least tie into Oliver more, this one doesn't seem to do that at all. Like, the villain has no real connection with him outside of the fact that Oliver was a part of the League of Assassins last season. And that's it. So, yeah, not really that much of an intrigue, and so that makes the whole entire relationship with the villain and everything much less personal. So that means that they had to find a way to compensate with that. So, what did they do? They killed Laurel Lance. I'm sorry. It's just, I know there had to be some people out there who really like her and stuff, and like, yeah, okay, I guess I could see that a little. I just didn't. I really didn't. Okay, granted, I don't like her. Okay, I don't like Laurel, but I don't hate her as much as I hate Daisy. But, God, did I hate Laurel Lance. So when she died, I just started rewinding over and over again. I saw her death about 10 times. And every time it just felt so relieving. If only Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would do this, then it'd be perfect. But, yeah, they probably won't. So, yeah, Laurel dies. I really hope they don't bring her back. Seriously, I really am hoping that they don't bring her back. And speaking of bringing back, they also bring back Sarah. Because she needed to be brought back. Because after Laurel got over her death, she of course bounced back to not being over her death and decided, yeah, okay, well since there's a Lazarus pit, I'll bring her back. And then they destroy the Lazarus pit. At least no one else can come back. I just kind of wish that wasn't a character that I thought was just mediocre. Or at least one that I want, or at least I wish that it was a character that I wanted to have more screen time. Like Tommy. I really want Tommy to come back. If his dad can come back, so can he, right? Why is that keep on falling? Okay, so yeah, I really do want Tommy to come back. Please find a way, Arrow. If you're gonna bring back Sarah and so many other characters, bring back Tommy. I really want to see him come back. And with the death of Laurel, I just gotta say, the death of Laurel, that was my favorite part of this season. That pretty much made up for a lot this season to me. Until it messed it all up again. But still, I was still pretty happy that they did that. So, yeah. Now, most of the characters do have their own story arcs and stuff that are going on, but for the most part, they're not really that engaging, or at least not as engaging as they were before. The flashbacks to for Oliver and everything, that show was 5 years on the island, aren't really that engaging anymore, because now they've even added magic to those. At least last season, that was grounded in reality too. But now, nope, has to have magic. Because why wouldn't it? So, yeah, now on Lian Yu, there is magic. And apparently Lian Yu was also a center for magic. And there's some guy who wants magic, 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 magic. That is pretty much everything that happens on Lian Yu this season. Also, Oliver meets a girl. That has never happened on Lian Yu. So yeah, as you can tell, I was so interested in what happened on Lian Yu. At least there were some moments, though, where I was kind of intrigued with this girl that I met, and she was kind of interesting, and she was also pretty likable. But outside of her, there was nothing really that interesting on the island, and there were even some moments that really didn't make any sense. Like, Oliver really wanted to get this girl off of Lian Yu, so when John Constantine comes onto the island and says, hey, I have a boat, I'm gonna leave. Hey, okay, I got a boat, I can leave, hey, you wanna come? Oliver, of course, says, well, no, because I have a job to do here, but why doesn't he ever bring up that girl that he has stuck in that cave, who is probably fighting for her own food and water and stuff? Why doesn't he just fill John in and say, hey, yeah, there's a girl over there, can you help her out? She's stuck on this island and doesn't want to be here, but nope, the idea never comes into Oliver's head. Because that would just make sense. I was honestly really expecting him to say, though, hey, yeah, I got this girl in a cave, but, yeah, it never happened, so she was stuck on the island to die. And yeah, shockingly, another person died on Lian Yu. I've never seen that before. So, yeah, stuff with Lian Yu this season was better than the overall story arc, but still not all that great. So, what happened with all the other characters? Well, their story arcs are fine, I guess, for the most part. And again, they can be kind of interesting at times, but they do wear kind of thin, especially with Felicity's story arc. Her story was pretty much, I'm breaking up with Oliver Queen. And yeah, they really drag this out for most of the season, even, and it gets really annoying really fast. So, yeah, why they did that, I don't really know. It didn't really need to be dragged out, yet they did anyway. Kind of like this show now, so I guess it seems appropriate. And while there are, again, some parts I did like, again, Laurel's death, and the costumes are still pretty cool. Except for John's. Yeah, apparently John, I thought his costume was fine, but the one thing I have a complaint with is his new nickname. What is it? Well, his code name is Spartan. Yeah, this Spartan. Yeah, those two totally look the same. So, yeah, apparently John is now Spartan. Again, he looks so much like Spartan. I thought that he was going to become Green Lantern, but I guess not. So, yeah, that's pretty much all on John's interesting story. Also, he has a kid now. He named her Sarah, and she is still a child who is in existence. So glad I filled you in on that. And, of course, there's also John's wife, who is now the head of Argus. I don't know what that was. But apparently now she's the head of Argus. Because Amanda Waller was killed. F you, show. F you. So, yeah, granted though, this wasn't really much like the Amanda Waller that I like, but still. Really? You had to kill her? Okay. Then again, you also killed Deadshot, so I don't know why I'm complaining. So, yeah, they killed off Amanda Waller. That one really annoyed me. But not as much as Hive. That still really gets to me. Seriously, that still really annoys me. But, yeah, outside of that, I've mainly already talked about most of the characters while I was summing up their story arcs and everything. But there is still one thing I want to bring up that I said I was going to bring up before. Taskmaster. He seems a lot like Damien Dark now, doesn't he? Yeah, Damien Dark has pretty much become Taskmaster. Or at least personality-wise. And if you don't know who Taskmaster is, allow me to enlighten you. Taskmaster in the Marvel Universe, he pretty much has the ability to copy anyone's moves by studying them. He has a photographic memory, so whenever he sees someone performing a certain style of fighting, he can remember it. So he can pretty much predict your moves before you do it, as long as he has enough time to prepare. And yeah, he prepares a lot. But one thing that's kind of interesting about him is that unlike most of the other Marvel Universe characters, which mainly use more intelligent intellect in their speech, Taskmaster mainly uses slang. Or at least he did until some revisions, but then he went back to his slang, so that was nice. And that's something that's really interesting about him. And apparently DC wanted a nice little slice of that, so they decided to make Damien Dark like him, at least with that slang talk, which happened about halfway through the season for some reason. Yeah, after he gets out of jail, then he starts talking in slang, all of a sudden. Don't really know why, just all of a sudden he decides, hey, I like slang language now, cool. So, yeah, that was so unexpected to me. I really had no idea where that came from when I first saw it. I was just like, what? Why are you talking like this? Why are you talking through slang now? Then near the end of the season, of course, he goes back to talking with how he normally would speak until the final fight, which he would then go back to slang. Make up your mind. So, yeah, that was a confusing little nitpick, but hey, you know what? It's still a good one. No, it's not. But you know what? It's still a nitpick that I had. And yeah, that's pretty much it for season 4, really. It was really disappointing in a lot of aspects, mainly through the magic, which I already brought up is making the show more like The Flash, which it didn't need to be. It really didn't, and it's getting kind of annoying how they're doing that. And while granted, okay, they've added time travel to this universe now, it still does kind of annoy me, and yeah, it's just why? That was so unnecessary. You did not need to put in magic, but I guess you did, so I shouldn't be complaining. Because it's magic. Without it, the whole entire show would fall apart. Although the show did finally kill off Laurel Lance. So that was something that was nice. Needless to say, I took a lot of comfort in that. And yeah, that was probably the best moment of the season. I really did love that more than I should have. But yeah, outside that and some of the costumes being pretty nice, there are a lot of moments that to me just don't really work, and the show has become less grounded in reality, which is a big issue. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And now I am finally done with talking about all these superhero shows. It has been so long, but I am finally done with talking about them. And no, I have not seen Supergirl, so I'm not talking about that. So granted, I did watch Supernatural. No, not doing it. Not enough material to talk about. Yeah, sure, that's my reason. Okay, so yeah, that's it. We're done with all these superhero shows now, and the CW and Fox and all those other shows and ABC and stuff. We're done with talking about those ones. So yay, we're finally done with that. This gives me so much content. So yeah, we're now done with that. Now we can go back onto normal vlogs. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.